We report many of the calls Milwaukee police respond to, but what is it like for the officers on the streets?
Fox 6 now knows the answer. Tonight, our Amelia Jones takes us on patrol with MPD and shares how the city needs to turn a corner in order to move forward.
It's late October in Milwaukee. We leave with Sergeant Christopher Jackson for his shift at MPD District 7 on Fond du Lac Avenue.
So where are we going right now?
Right now we're just driving around, listening to different calls, kind of patrolling the district.
The night begins quietly, but it doesn't last long. The call is for a reckless driver.
Is anyone injured?
Negative.
We pull up to find a wrecked Kia. The driver and passengers are nowhere to be found. A typical night where everything can change in an instant.
For the night in Lisbon in the alley.
10-4.
We show up to see officers investigating a car. Sergeant Jackson says it started as a traffic stop for the window tint and ends with the driver arrested. Then suddenly,
We definitely feel the increase in crime.
the stats back it up. 190 people died by homicide in 2020, 193 in 2021. And Milwaukee is on pace to set a new record of homicides for the third year. More than 200 people have died by homicide so far this year. These aren't just numbers to Sergeant Jackson. Back in the squad car, we pass by Sergeant Jackson's old bus stop and candy store. We learn he grew up in the Sherman Park area.
My father was actually a cop.
Following in his father's footsteps, Jackson chose to raise his family in the city he serves. But that puts him in the minority. 42% of MPD officers are Milwaukee residents. The other 58% live outside the city, which is something that changed in 2016 when the Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled Milwaukee could no longer enforce its residency requirement.
Sitting around and hearing gunshots, that's not normal. It shouldn't be normal. How do we fix it, I guess, is the often asked question.
Jackson has one answer.
As a kid, you ran after a police car like, hey, you got baseball cards? You know, you had that fun interaction with police officers.
Right now, the interaction looks more like this.
Go ahead.
Sergeant Jackson turns on his lights as we drive toward an SUV that hit a tree.
10-4.
The driver has their foot on the gas and exhaust is filling the air.
Yeah, let me back up just in case this thing goes in the reverse so you don't get hit.
Do you want us to stay in the car?
Yeah, stay in the car for a minute.
The crash woke up neighbors.
Put the car apart! Put the car apart!
We watch as Sergeant Jackson pulls a young boy from the car.
Where you at? Out the car. Get out of the car.
The boy is
Get out of the
physically
car.
okay, but even at 5 years old, he knows the sad reality of what happens next.
What's going on? I'll try not to, okay?
After more than an hour, we're back at MPD District 7. Sergeant Jackson makes sure we're okay.
You guys are all safe and everything, right?
Oh, yeah, we're totally fine.
Okay.
It's taxing work, physically and mentally. But he's not the only one working for a brighter tomorrow. Milwaukee pastor Micaiah Young works to make change by using his voice.
We demonstrating behaviors. We know the behavior ain't right, but we can't turn it off because we don't know how it started.
Members of Young's congregation see the effects of that increase in crime every day. Young says Milwaukee needs to acknowledge that much of what we see is systemic. He adds many are traumatized by poverty, lack of education, and violence.
I know what it is to come from a broken family, and I know what it is to have come from poverty, if you will. But what helped me was the positive reinforcement that I got from the community at large.
Young urges people to start that process under your own roof.
Invest in your home. Spend time with your children. The thing that they are looking for the most is love and acceptance.
All of us matter, and today our feet are on the ground.
Two things hard to find, since Young says many have to overcome labels put on them by those in power.
They've lumped them into a category and have made them inhumane. But these are individuals who have stories, who have experiences, who have potential, but they're limited to their experience. But as long as Milwaukee is neglected, as long as our youth are neglected, there's going to be an infection in the entire state.
The infection feeding into the challenge to overcome distrust for police officers.
I think sometimes when people have an image of a police officer, it could be just that anger, upset person. I'm ready to do something. Hey, I'm your neighbor. I'm somebody here. Hey, the reason why I'm here is try to make the situation better.
Moving Milwaukee forward to better days is why Sergeant Jackson puts on the badge.
Okay, he got you. He gonna take care of you. Your mama gonna be okay, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
Don't cry. Your mama gonna be okay.
It's sad seeing some of the crime for sure, because you hope your area is taken care of.
There you go.
And sometimes it could be better taken care of by the individuals that are there, and I'm there and I'm trying to do my part. Everybody just has to try to do their part and try to make our community safer, make it better, make it a better place.
Is this the Milwaukee that you grew up with?
This is not. I believe this is a different Milwaukee. It's a little bit more reckless than years past, and the recklessness needs to stop.
In Milwaukee, alongside photojournalist Sean Chen, Amelia Jones, FOX 6 News.
Eye-opening. Organizations like Kids Matter Incorporated, Pathfinders, and the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Milwaukee, they're dedicated to helping young people in Milwaukee. For people looking for other resources, we have a link to a list of shelters, hotlines, and other programs on our website, fox6now.com. Go to our homepage and just look for the story. Thank you to MPD and the sergeant for taking time to show us. That's just a couple of shifts that Amelia went out with them. You see how busy it is, and you can hear the officers say, this is different than what I grew up with, and I grew up in this city.
I love hearing their perspective because it's not often we get their perspective. We just see it from our perspective.
Right.
So to get that inside look, yeah, a big thank you to them for allowing us to have that.